Is that writing on that?
Wait, how do I do next slide?
You'll never notice it's fine.
So I can't give you a grade. I can only comment. But listen, I'm not giving you grades on the rubric for your, even though one wouldn't count.
Hey, Zane.
I'm not going to do that, but I can give you comments. Okay, so go. Can you turn it on?
Overfishing by me, Blake Togaccio, Connor Banks, Andrew Cooper, and Kate Smith. Our research question is, how is overfishing affecting the Earth's people and ecosystem? Our problem is that there are many more fish being caught than are being replaced in the Earth's oceans. Our thesis is that if solutions are not found soon, worldwide and irreversible damages will be caused by overfishing in our lifetime. Here are some causes of overfishing. The first cause of overfishing is increased fish consumption. Over the past 60 years, just the Earth's fish catch has gone from 20 million to 100 million tons, and aquaculture from 20 to almost 180 million tons per year. Another cause of overfishing is illegal fishing techniques. Illegal fishing techniques destroy the environment and create a ton of bycatch using huge nets. One of the worst illegal fishing techniques is bottom trawling, which drags a huge weighted net across the seafloor, ripping up everything in its path and leaving behind a trail of destruction. A result of overfishing is that fisheries are being destroyed and overexploited. Almost 70% of the Earth's fisheries are overexploited or fully exploited, and 7% are already depleted. Overfishing also causes species of fish to become endangered and has the risk of causing species to go extinct. A good example is Pacific sardines, which went from over 1.6 million megatons in 2006 to under 200,000 in 2017. There are many more species of fish that are currently in danger, like sardines. The increased need for fish, combined with damages caused to the environment and species of fish, make overfishing a big problem that needs a solution soon.
Solution one is aquaculture. This solution is only viable for one reason, and it's that fish tastes good, so people fish for it. And our main part of aquaculture is it is a source of food for people, and that would alleviate the need for some fishing boats. And those cause a lot of pollution, and that is from the Department of Pollution Control. Also, it'd be a source of income for fishermen that would lose their jobs due to increased laws that would result of aquaculture. And also, farms can be built almost anywhere as long as there's enough water to keep it running. As you can see here, here's an aquaculture farm in the middle of the desert. You can see like the mountains over there. So clearly, they can be built almost anywhere. Some of the cons are it would be really difficult to implement. Not a lot of fishermen would really like to switch jobs from fishing, what they love, to aquaculture. And wild fish is prized compared to farmed fish. And this can be seen in a lot of polls and in restaurants. Wild fish is always a lot more expensive than the farmed fish. Some fish can also not be farmed, such as that tuna. They live really deep, and so to make an aquaculture farm that deep would just be impossible and impractical. And then also, not fishing for some of the invasive species that live in our oceans would result in them flourishing and depleting some of our natural ecosystems. Our implications and limitations. There would be a lot of lost jobs of the fishermen. As I said, aquaculture would provide a lot of jobs for the fishermen to be for the fishermen to do again, but there would be a lot of pushback as seen in the documentary Counting Fish, where in New England there was increased fish laws, and almost all of the fishermen either were cut hours or lost their jobs, and there was a big pushback towards NOAA Fisheries, which was the which is the company trying to maintain the cod population. And then also, the fishing industry is a very large industry. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry every year, and making any change to an industry that large is going to be very difficult and be pushed back by a lot of people. Some of the limitations are supply and demand. As the supply of fish goes up due to aquaculture, the demand will go down. And so that would lead to, that could possibly lead to some crash in fish markets, and fish becoming a lot less expensive, which would obviously affect that part of the Asiatic economies. Asia is one of the largest producers of fish. Countries such as Japan and Thailand produce shrimp and fish in tons every year, and making their economy lesser by implementing aquaculture would possibly make their economy crash.
Okay, so our second solution would be to implement more stricter fishing laws. So obviously limiting fishing with these laws would overall cause the balance of marine life to generally have more stability. Not only that, it would also decrease the chance of an entire stock market crash in this particular field. And then one thing that generally needs to be considered is that overfishing can be a cause to the overpopulation of other species. For example, in the South American inlets, sharks were having to be overfished, which would end up resulting in jellyfish being more populated in those waters, which would cause them to be more dangerous not only for humans but for other marine life. So the cons are there's less opportunity for work in this field due to the limitations that the laws possess, and over the years the demand for seafood has been increasing, making less room for income that is generated from fisheries. And if we weren't to put these laws in place, the food demand would be more likely to be met for fish, which is constantly growing, but they would also be taken away by the laws if they're put in place. So this graph shows the condition of world fisheries throughout the years. So obviously in the 50s, a lot of the fisheries were underexploited. Throughout the years, it was having to be found that a lot of them were exploited more, just more in general, and a lot more actually having to crash when it got in the 2000s.
In conclusion, aquaculture is the best solution for our issue due to the fact that it is safer for fish, it protects them, and it helps them to be able to replenish their stock in a safe environment where they are mostly free from stress. Because stressing a fish population, which is a common thing with overfishing, that can really hurt them because fish get stressed easily and they do not do as well when they are stressed. And also, aquaculture will help keep it in a more natural setting where they're able to be in water and with other fish of their species. The only real downside to this is the cost, because it is pretty expensive to make fish farms around the world and keep them maintained. But if a lot of fishermen were able to learn about this and get educated on the issue of this, they would be able to implement it in their country. Another thing that goes along with this would be to set aside natural areas in the ocean where you cannot fish and humans aren't really supposed to go and the fish can just live there. So just like fencing off areas and then just leaving them alone so the fish can recover and rebound back to the state in which they once were, where they're able to be healthy and have high populations that humans could catch, but still remain healthy.